So my name's Romal. We've got a catering company, Darwin Catering Company.
Wow, so you were thinking about shutting it down and then sign a new lease for another
Correct,
3 years?
correct.
Didn't think that through very well, did you?
Held on to it too long.
3 years too long.
And I was like, well, why can't we just get drivers? Why can't we just start an online ordering? And I said, hey, how hard is it to start it like an Uber? And he's like, I don't know. Only like 3 days we had it running.
Wow.
Yeah, because we had someone at every place in the world so that we could be open 24 hours a day. So now, for the last 3 years, I've been like, all right, I know what I need to do. But now, how do I actually implement?
Hang on. Whoa. You nearly halved your
Yeah,
fixed
but it was
cost.
just simple things that we just weren't looking at, right?
Dude, thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate
Thanks
it.
for flying all the way to Darwin.
I flew all the way to Darwin just for you, just for this moment. And I'm going to have to fly
Well,
everyone here because of this podcast studio. Best one in Australia, apparently.
It's great, right?
It is.
There's a
It's
few of them
really
in
good.
town. They're fantastic.
Really?
Yeah, they're great.
My man, talk to me. Just for everyone who's listening in today,
Mm-hmm.
who are you? Where are you from?
So my name's Romal. I've been in Darwin for 25 odd years.
Okay, so you were born here.
No, born in Nepal. Went to Sydney when I was 5. Stayed there till I was about 10 and then moved here.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. And what do you do here?
So we're in the hospitality industry.
Yep.
Now, we've got a catering company, Darwin Catering Company.
Yep.
So that's probably the biggest thing we do at the moment.
Yep.
And then we've just taken on, we've got a few contracts. So the university, we run the cafe and cafeteria down there.
Yep.
And we've just taken over the ski club. So we do all the food and
Okay.
catering side down at
How
the
many
ski club.
people in your team?
Varies from the season. So it's about 60.
Okay.
Yeah, it's-
Smallest team, 60.
About 60. And that
Okay.
grows to about 100 to 120 this time of year.
Wow. Just
Big.
with the contracts.
Big, yeah.
Okay. Wow. So you go from 60 to, so you double your size.
You
of
double
your team.
size, that's right. Just for
Depending on
catering.
the season.
Just to cover the catering, that's correct. All the
And-
events that we do.
Wow. Okay. And you went from 5 to 50 quite quickly, like 5 team members to 50.
Oh,
someone
yeah,
tells me.
100%. Yeah, yeah, we did. So we went from having a restaurant,
Yes.
which was my first restaurant. I was 24 at the time.
Yes.
So dove into one of the busiest restaurants in town. We were probably the second busiest on Mitchell Street.
Really?
Yeah, 100%. We just dove straight in. I had no idea how to run a business, no idea how to manage people.
Yep.
I just had no experience.
So
But
why did you get into a restaurant then if you had no idea?
I wanted to own my own business.
You like so many.
Yeah, I just wanted to own my own business. I knew the food industry because I've been working in it for a while.
Yes.
And yeah, I just kind of just dove in from there.
Yep.
And it's just been a bit of a
Bit of-
crazy.
No, but let's talk about it because I want to talk about it because your road hasn't been like a freeway.
Oh no,
It's been
no.
like a bumpy road and with ups and downs, like every restaurant owner everywhere in the world.
Yeah, well, I
but
think-
people don't talk about it.
Yeah, well, I think every business. And in
Yeah.
fact, if you haven't failed, have you really grown? Right?
That's right. No, and this is the thing, you just need to fail faster and people don't talk about
yeah,
that.
100%.
So busiest restaurant in town,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
second busiest or,
Yeah, easily. Yeah.
yeah.
And
How'd that
then
go?
That was really good actually,
Mm-hmm.
and it ran really well. What we didn't take into account was the downturn in Darwin. Like tourism was lacking a bit, and I just didn't adapt and change. And I was just doing what I did because I didn't know anything better.
Yeah.
Right? And my management I was a terrible manager at the time.
So you got into a good business and just ran it the way you ran it.
Yeah.
And because everything was going well, you
Yes.
just couldn't do anything wrong.
Yeah, but I was in there 80, 90 hours a week. I was in there. I was in there.
Yeah.
We were making money, but I was in there.
Yeah.
Every single day. And then 2 years later, we were like, oh, another restaurant. Hey, why don't we do that? It's fantastic. It's
Because
a
I'm already
terrible idea.
working 80, 90 hours a week. And you know what? I need another one.
Yeah, terrible idea.
Why did you do it? Why did you do another one?
I don't know. I just thought, well, we're doing this. It's not that hard. How much harder can it be to have a second one?
Well, it's actually not that harder when you're not working in the first one making good money. But when you're
Yeah,
working in the
100%.
first one. So you opened the second one. How'd that go?
That was okay. And that stayed okay for a long time.
Yeah.
So it was never like crazy busy.
Yes.
It wasn't like our first restaurant, but it also wasn't dead. So, but like I let go of Talicious early when I should have. Like it was time for it to go. And even though it was my first restaurant, I was like, nah, it's time to close it.
Really?
Yeah, it was
Because a
time to
lot
close
of
it.
people hold on.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
A lot of
But I knew that was it.
How did you know?
Well, our sales were already lacking a bit.
So
we
sales
were
were
already
declining.
declining. It was
Yeah.
already on the way down. And most of the town was, but I mean, there was so much we could have done. Now, now that I think about it, but we were definitely declining in sales. Cyclone had just come through and completely ruined the restaurant as well. We had issues with our landlord, and there was all these little things. Our accountant
Yeah.
That's a big thing. We can talk about that later.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
our
yeah.
accountant wasn't, there was no advice as well on what
Mm-hmm.
to do. And then COVID had hit, and then, and at the time I was like, you know what, is it really worth saving and signing up? Because our lease had come up, and same thing. I was like, is it really worth saving? And I knew from the get go. I was like, no,
Yeah,
because
done.
I need to concentrate on the other place, because the other place was also, not
Going
doing-
on a decline.
That's correct.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
correct.
So the first one, closed it down. That's super simple. It sounds like the universe really helped you with
Yes.
that, making some decisions. Then the second place, what happened?
So second place, that was going okay. We weren't going to become millionaires through that restaurant, but I'd just taken on the contract down at the university. So we'd gone from, having 2 restaurants to then losing a restaurant, but then taking on like a big contract, like
Yeah.
a $2 million contract, right? And then
$2
so
a year to do catering.
yeah, that's right. So
Yeah.
we've just like taken on this huge contract, and again, I was never at the other restaurant. I was never there, and honestly, I probably kept it going for like 3 years, longer than it needed to be. I even signed another 3-year lease, which I should have just let it go when that lease ended.
Yeah.
Because it was time for it wasn't making any money.
You said one thing a little bit earlier. We weren't going to become millionaires from that restaurant. So number one, rarely you hear restaurant owners talk about wanting to become a millionaire. Rarely. And you're like, weren't going to become millionaires, so why have it? Then you went out and you took on a catering contract, which I would imagine would have doubled your revenue from a group perspective. I wouldn't imagine were you doing $2 million in that restaurant?
On that restaurant?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
We would triple our revenue actually.
So you tripled your revenue.
Yeah, it's essentially straight away.
Yeah. Okay. So you really thought that through. I've got this restaurant. It's
Yeah,
going to
no, I
triple my
didn't.
revenue overnight. Did you run it out of the back kitchen, or did you have a separate?
No,
As at
we've
the
got
uni?
a separate kitchen at the
Okay.
university.
I just like how you just spoke about you held on to it too long. We should have just closed it down. It's like a throwaway line. You're not attached to it. Everyone, there's so much feeling and so much. I'm doing this coach to coaches, and all I'm getting is the stories and the love and the passion. And I can see why people hold on to their businesses too long.
Yeah.
And then, you held on to it too long. Why do you think that is?
Maybe because I let go of the first one pretty quick. Again, a little bit
Yeah.
emotional, And you're like, oh, but this is our this is our little baby, right? Yeah, exactly.
And it's almost a safety net, right? It's what you know.
100%. Exactly. It's what you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And because the new contract was completely new. And then here's this little thing here that I know as my little safety
It was
net.
saved. Yeah. So shut that down. What happened? Shut it down, sold it.
No, we shut it down.
Shut it down.
Yeah.
So you signed a new lease and then shut it down.
No. So I signed a new lease,
Yes.
let it run for 3 years. And then when the lease was about to end, I was like, I'm not signing a new lease this time. And I
So
shut it
you
down.
were thinking about shutting it down and then signed a new lease for another 3 years.
Correct.
What happened when you shut that down?
It was almost like a relief, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because you let it go, and then now there's not something there that you're kind of, taking your time, because it's not just draining your finances, it's draining your time.
It's draining your headspace. all the
Correct.
time. Even
Correct.
if you're not working in it, you're
Correct.
still thinking about it.
Correct.
You're still talking to the team.
And like where the growth is, you're not 100% there, right? You got to, even if you're thinking about it a little bit, but you're still taken away from where you could grow, and instead thinking about something else where.
It's an opportunity cost where you've only got so much time and so much attention you've got in a day, and you may as well be
100%.
putting it to something that has got the opportunity to maximize and grow, and not in
100.
something where you're just trying to keep it afloat.
100%. Because imagine if I let it go 3 years ago, the growth, because the time I could have put it into, I mean, I don't think about that too much, but when you think about it that way,
Yeah.
we would have grown a lot more.
Yeah. What would you have to say to someone in a position where they're thinking about shutting their business, but they're like in that same mindset? Because I've been in there with my business in the past.
Yeah.
Well.
Well, if you're already thinking about it, maybe you got to sit down and really go through the numbers and say, hey, is this worth saving? Like really?
Yeah. Why am I doing it?
And why are you doing it? Yeah.
Yeah.
You really got to sit down.
One, is it really savable? And two, if it is savable, how long is it going to take you to dig yourself out of the hole that you've just put
and
yourself into?
can you pay off all your debts?
Yeah.
Can you pay, can you get out of it?
Yeah.
And if the answer is no, you call it. Because
Yeah.
all you're going to do is just keep digging a bigger hole.
Or if it's going to be years, you need to start weighing up what that 5 years is going to take you. Like what else you could be doing in that 5 years. If your kids are 5 now, or if your kids are 10 now, what that 5 years is going to rob for your time with your kids.
Yeah, can you commit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you're at that point, what numbers do you look at? Because you're like, just run the numbers. which is okay from a dude who loves his numbers, but it hasn't always been like that.
We weren't too bad, I guess. I mean, we were in debt with the ATO, probably about 100 and something grand.
Yeah.
But we weren't really in debt with any suppliers or anything.
So you're
like
looking
that.
at, not, and I wasn't talking about your personal position when you're shutting it down, but if someone's looking at it, ATO debt,
Yeah.
supplier debt, yeah, what profit you're making, obviously.
Yeah, we weren't making.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like breaking even.
Yeah.
Or even making loss.
Yeah.
For half the year.
And then how much time you're putting into that as well.
Yeah, a lot. And
Because
then
if you're breaking even and you're working full time, you
Yeah.
may as well be fucking sitting on the beach.
well, half the year was better off that we just shut down and just pay the rent
Yeah, instead of opening.
instead of
altogether.
opening.
Dude, you could have had half a year off every year.
100%. Yeah, we
Can
could
you
have.
imagine that time. Yeah. Okay, so we got rid of that and then just went deep on the catering. What happened?
Correct. Yeah, 100%. Just focus on catering.
Okay.
And after doing that, we've grown quite a bit. Because that's what now I can concentrate on, especially a lot of the catering tenders. So we've got that. We're doing I think 4 or 5 teams plus NT major events. So we do all the officials, security, all them. About 600 to 800 meals a day, and that's what I like to do.
Why?
Firstly, revenue perspective.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the good thing about catering is we know exactly what we're doing.
Yes.
We know exactly what we need to purchase. We know exactly what our margins are. We know exactly what we're going to make out of every single event. And so, I like that about it. I like knowing that number.
You're not waiting for customers to come through the door. You've got control over it.
Correct. And we now have the opportunity to say no, and we decline a lot of jobs because,
It doesn't have the margin in it.
yeah, the margin's not there. And
Yeah.
we always say we're not the cheapest caterer in town. We
Yeah.
don't want to be.
Most
But we-
reliable though.
Yes, we want to be reliable. We want to have great food, and the experience has to be as easy as possible. Right? That experience. How does someone go from wanting to order to placing that order in the shortest amount of time and the easiest way possible?
Yeah.
So
Remove the
that's
roadblocks in the process.
correct. That's the easiest way.
Yeah.
Even down to emails we send. We don't want 10 emails for a single job. How do we reply back in a manner where we write or structure the email so that when the customer replies, all the information's already on there?
Yeah.
Just simple things.
There's a big change of identity going from running a small restaurant, having it for 3 years too long to,
It's been a long process.
yeah, man. Because I feel like people get inside their businesses, get inside their restaurants, and they keep showing up as the same version as who they were 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years
Yes.
ago. It's not uncommon for someone to have, I've got 15 years worth of experience. It's like, dude, you don't have 15 years worth of experience. You got 1 year or 2 years
Yeah.
repeated 15 times or 7.5 times.
Just got to get out of your way sometimes.
Yeah. So tell me about that transformation process, because we're talking way bigger numbers now than what you ever would have perceived when you first
Yeah.
started.
Well, it was because I was doing such long hours, and I thought, well, I can't keep this up forever,
Yeah.
right? And how can I step away? And that was about 5 years ago. So I had
Okay.
that thought, and I've been working on it for about 5 years, and also improving myself. Like I was always wanting to be there,
Yes.
right? Always wanting to be on the tools, being there, managing everyone. Not that I was a
Why?
good
'Cause
manager.
It made you
but
feel good.
it probably made me feel good.
Yeah.
A little bit of ego there.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I've got to step away. But I didn't know how.
What bit made you? I've got to step away. What bit made you do
I
that?
think it was just like a slow transition.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I'm like either behind the bar or in the kitchen, and it's something simple as someone will ask me, "Hey, can you send us a quote to do a catering?" And I'm like, I don't even have time to do that because I'm too busy bartending. Like, it's a bit silly, right?
And that comes down to what the use of your time is. What do you pay a bar attendant? $35 an
Yeah.
hour, whatever
That's
that is,
right.
$40 an hour. And then compared to like some of those catering quotes are huge.
Yes. I had a friend who had on his laptop, he used to say every time he opened it, he had a sticky tape on there and said, "Is this worth $10,000 an hour?" Was what he had on a tape.
Sounds like a smart guy.
Yeah, and I remember, and I said, "Hey, you got that?" He goes, "Yeah," because it reminds me that if I make this call, is this going to earn me
10 grand.
10 grand?
Sounds like a good friend to have.
He's great.
Okay, so you started thinking about how you're spending your time, what you're
Yes.
spending your time on. Was there a moment, was there an event, or it was just a slow, gradual?
It was just a slow gradual, just understanding that, hey, this is not sustainable,
Yeah.
but I need to change my mindset.
Yeah.
Right, I need to change the way I think. And because I'm in there, I'm trying to micromanage everything. I'm get angry. I'm short-tempered because I'm always in there working 90 hours a week. And I'm like, no.
'Cause your moods. Yeah, 'cause
Yeah,
you're so
you know?
tired,
Yeah,
strung
because you're
out.
just tired. You're just burnt out.
And you're not making smart decisions
No,
when you burn out.
no, 100%. So that was one of the biggest things was for me. It was like, well, I'm doing a terrible job managing. I can't get mad all the time because everyone's trying to do their best. So read a lot of books, go on the internet a lot, research.
Yeah.
Like, how do these big companies run tons of restaurants and the owners aren't in there?
Yeah.
Right? How do they do that? And so that was something that, I started about 5 years ago. Then I met Foodie Coach about 2 years ago. So
Yeah.
that sped up the process quite a bit.
That helped.
100%.
Okay. Why and how?
Structure, knowing how to do something, but actually implementing
Doing
it
it.
are
Yeah.
like two very different things, right? So now for the last 3 years, I've been like, all right, I know what I need to do, but now how do I actually implement? And I think
Yeah.
one of the things about Foodie Coach was it's helped us implement it.
In Foodie Coaches, nothing that we teach is nothing that you can't find and go
Yeah.
and pull out somewhere.
Yeah, 100%.
It's not rocket science.
Yeah.
The restaurant industry's been around for thousands of
Yes.
years. It's the business behind it, but it's the structure and the numbers and the implementation where people get results.
Yes.
We also think it's the commitment that people make to themselves when they join it, because it's not free and it's an investment. And when
Yes.
you invest, it's like, oh shit, well, I best turn up now.
Yes.
Well, 90% of people.
Because if it
like
was
that.
free, you wouldn't.
You
You wouldn't.
You wouldn't do it.
No.
You're 100%
Once you pay for it.
Best I get some results here.
Yes.
So the structure and the implementation, you would have been structured before. How is it different?
Well, we weren't very structured because I was there. I was the structure. I was the one making sure everything was getting done.
Yeah.
And, there was nothing written down. There was no procedures.
And then just by putting those procedures in place, that's allowed you to grow.
Yes. And
Okay.
step away.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not having to be there. I don't do any day-to-day stuff anymore at all.
Yeah.
The only time I'm ever there if there's a big event, like
Yeah.
a wedding or something that's a big job, then I'll go in there,
So when you say big job, so a wedding's a big job,
Weddings, yeah, depending on how big the wedding is. I'm
Is
not
that-
at all of them, but
is that because the bride, there's a lot of feeling in a wedding? Like, do you turn up to the big corporate stuff as well?
yes.
You do.
Yeah.
And then when you turn up there, I couldn't imagine you're there wielding a knife, cutting some stuff up or prepping.
Well, sometimes, very rarely.
Yeah.
Very rarely.
Okay. And is that filling in because someone's sick or someone's
Yeah,
got
usually
run
just,
over
yeah.
or,
But I don't fill in for the day-to-day stuff at all.
Yeah.
So if I'm filling in because it's a big job, it's a big contract.
And then when you say day to day, are you still doing all your own bookwork or your own admin work?
So tendering I still do,
Yes.
but I kind of just have a template now.
Okay.
So again, creating structure.
Systems.
Yeah,
Yes.
the systems in place. So we know, like a tender used to take me a month to do. Now it takes me a day.
Okay.
So
Wow.
really, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because I have everything I need to know already on there. I'm just copy and pasting, because there's only so much catering styles that you can do, right?
Yeah.
And so when someone requests something, I already know, all right, this is the style they need. So I already have the template for that. So
Yeah.
I still do tendering. I obviously still check my mails. I do pop in at least once a day just to say good day. But like today, I wasn't there at all.
The industry's so noisy that owners struggle to organise their own time, let alone start organising offshore team members
Yes.
or outside contractors. So talk to me about that. How are you leveraging your time?
So we started getting an offshore team. Actually,
Yeah.
it started during COVID. Everyone in Darwin didn't want to get onto Uber because everyone in Darwin was like, no, we don't want to pay this 30%. And I was like, well, why can't we just get drivers? Why can't we just start an online ordering? And so I rang that mate of mine who has some contacts, and I said, hey, how hard is it to start like an Uber? And he's like, I don't know. And in like 3 days, we had it running.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're wearing all the hats. Chef, manager, cleaner, everything. But what's your time really worth? The chef's hat calculator shows you the answer. For most owners, it's the wake-up call they didn't know they needed. Because once you know where your time's leaking, you can start changing everything. Are you ready to see the truth? The link's in the show notes.
Yeah, and we had a fleet of about 15 drivers, and we were driving for, I think we had like 13, 14 restaurants. That's what got me into the whole having this call center, because we had someone at every place in the world so that we could be open 24 hours a day. So someone would be physically managing the logistics of it, like getting the driver to, hey, you need to go here, pick up food, and there would be someone 24 hours a day.
You set that up in how long?
Yeah, about 3 days, I think it was 72
in
hours.
3 days.
Yeah. So we would have a tablet at the restaurant where the orders would come. The orders would then be linked to a driver management software, so it would automatically go over. But we just have someone overseas just overseeing it, making sure that that's all working. And so we did that for about 2 years during COVID, and then after COVID, everyone went to Uber, so we shut it down. But yeah, we didn't make much money out of it, but it was just a solution that we needed to a problem because everyone wanted takeaway. none of the restaurants wanted delivery. We're like, well, we've got drivers. We can get more drivers. Why can't we do the same thing?
You've got to set up in 3 days.
Yes.
And this is where, if you're listening right now, it's like you've got to remove the noise. I've got a problem.
Yes.
I just need to fix it.
Yes.
And if you fix your problem with that much intensity, you can change anything.
Yeah. 3 days. It was crazy. We had it up and running. It's insane, right? And by the third day, actually, we already had 6 restaurants because I was already calling the restaurants saying, hey, would you be interested if we had this?
And they were just like, yep.
Yep.
Yep. Because COVID, like restaurants at COVID were buying anything. It was brilliant.
Yeah, that's right. And I mean, we'd charge the restaurants, it was cheap for them. It was like $70 a month, plus delivery fees. Obviously.
Yeah.
But for them, that was cheap. That was cheaper than paying 30% to Uber.
Yeah. And then since then, you've kept some offshore admin.
Correct. Yeah, since then, I was like, well, why don't we have admin? Because admin for restaurants, it's crazy. Imagine having to pay someone full time just to sit on admin. When restaurants already have pretty low margins.
Yeah.
It's usually not feasible. And I thought, well, why can't we just have a team overseas doing the same thing? So I have a team overseas that looks after all of my phone calls, all of our emails. So all the emails that come through for catering, because we get like 40, 50 emails a day. If I'm doing it, it's going to take me days.
I just want everyone to hear that. He gets 40 or 50 inquiries a day for catering.
Yeah.
40 or 50 inquiries a day for catering.
Yeah.
Dude, that's insane.
Yeah, it's a bit crazy. Yeah.
It's insane.
And that's it. It just comes down to, well, I can't handle that. That's going to take all my time. I'm going to be sitting in front of a computer.
Yep. So all the admin team offshore manage all of that.
Yes, all of it. All we get is a calendar.
Yep.
With all the run sheets, all the equipment that we need to take, all the food that needs to be done. It's all broken down. So the chefs just look at it and say, well, I need to cook, all right, this many of this, this many of this, this many of this. That goes in one box. So they already have that like pretty much broken down.
And who handles the cash? Who handles the money? Do they do all the invoicing?
It's all online, yeah. It's all online.
Paid, done.
Yep. So they place an order, pay for it online. I have another person who does accounts.
Yep.
So anyone that does direct deposit or like government or, some
Yep.
bigger companies who have 21-day accounts with us.
Yep.
And they do all the money chasing. And
I'd imagine you don't enjoy looking after that side either.
No, I couldn't think of anything worse.
I'm in a space where lead generation's pretty big.
Yeah.
For someone to be getting that many organic leads through, you've got a tight brand presence in a
thank you.
pretty captivated market.
Yeah, thank you.
It's not like you're in middle of Sydney or Melbourne. Like you're in the NT.
Yes.
So what do you think has led to that?
Well, I think one of the things is the name.
Yes.
And I changed that actually. We used to be called the Lunchroom Catering because that's what the cafeteria used to be called. And I remember sitting down and I thought, you know what, who's going to Google that? Like, who's going to sit there and go like, what's the first thing someone does? They're going to say catering in Darwin. I'm like, why aren't we called Darwin Catering?
Yeah.
So that was the first thing.
Yeah.
And that's actually made a big difference. Because just
SEO.
the name alone.
Yeah.
100%. The name alone. That made a big difference.
Isn't that interesting? Because so many people, because again, hospitality's from the heart, and I've been hearing all about it, doing this coach stuff. So everyone names their cafe about all sorts of different stuff, rather than just going, what's going to optimize for SEO?
Well, I did. Do you see? At first, that's what I was thinking of. What's my grandparents' names? What's you know what I mean? Like, what do we do?
This is going to be represent my family.
I wrote this big long list, and one of the things was like, what would people like? I asked a few friends, what do you Google? They're like Darwin Catering. I'm like, oh yeah, that's what you would Google. You'd say catering in Darwin or Darwin Catering.
That makes sense.
And I was like, why don't we just call Darwin Catering Company? That's where it came down to it.
Yeah.
Something as simple as that.
Yeah.
That's all you need. And it's funny because no one had registered that name. In fact, I just registered Brisbane Catering Company for fun because I thought that can't possibly be not taken. It's not taken.
Bullshit.
Yeah, I just registered it.
You know what? You need to go and register all the capital cities catering company. I think you need to do that now because when this comes out, heaps of people are going to do it.
Yeah, so it was just, it was just shocking. I'm like, that would be the first thing because that's what you would Google. Like that's what you would.
I feel like just telling the team to get a list of names and just registering every city's catering company.
Yeah. It's funny. It's funny when you think about it, right? Like, because catering is not like a restaurant, right? It's a service that people, especially for corporate, like you're a receptionist. Your boss says, hey, we need catering for a meeting that we're going to have. You know, what are you going to do? You don't know every catering company. And second thing is just being quick. Fast replies. Respond fast. We tell our team, if it's just a simple, hey, we need a catering for a reply within 30 to an hour.
Yeah.
30 minutes to an hour. Most catering companies will take the day to reply back, right?
Yep.
We will do it in 30 minutes.
Yep.
You'll get a reply straight away. And one of the most responses we get is always, thank you for getting back to me so quickly.
Yes.
Or, you guys always respond incredibly quick. On our first reply, we will already have a recommendation for them.
Yeah.
So they don't have to think about it, because they'll tell us, hey, we need a meeting for 12 people. We already know what most people will have at a meeting. We'll already have a reply and say, hey, thanks for getting in touch. Here's our catering menu. And this is a recommended menu for 12
what
people.
you've said, yeah.
Already done.
And then how often do they go, we'll just
50%
take that?
of the time, they're like, yep, that's perfect. That works. And see, you've just reduced
Yep.
the amount of back and forth. You've helped out the receptionist. All we ask them is just, what's your dietaries after that? And that's it. That's done. It's all.
And then because you made it so easy and so quick and so effortless,
Yeah.
betcha they just email you back next time.
All the time. That's correct.
Yeah, I would imagine that there would be quite a few emails that just come on the old thread of the last time that they ordered and say,
Yes.
hey, I need another order.
Yeah, all the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they move, even when they move jobs, we always get new. It's always the same people, but they're different companies when they move around.
Now, tell me about the relationships with those people. Do you invest in those people's relationship, or you just invest with it with just making their job easier?
Currently making their job easier.
Yeah.
But we are talking to our GM, and we were like, hey, we always deal with the same people. What can we do different that it feels like they're being acknowledged and like they feel special?
Yes.
How do we do that? So that's something that we definitely have to do.
Yes.
Because I think that's a big thing, just building that rapport.
Yeah. Maybe
Right.
a photo of Romal for their desk.
I don't know about that, but
Need to make it as seamless and as easy with the least amount of friction for people to buy from you. And,
that's what we say. Frictionless as possible.
Yeah.
How do we be as frictionless as possible?
and people insert excuses to why it's difficult, or insert
Yes.
excuses to why we can't do it, and then they wonder why they don't get the work.
Yes. Most of our work we get because we're quick, because we're the first one in.
Yeah.
We already have a quote ready for them.
Yep. And even
Nice.
if you're not the cheapest, you're just the quickest, and then they get an answer and they move
That's
forward.
right. And we don't want to be the cheapest.
No,
I think
We
we're
wanna
not
be
in
the
a race
best.
to the bottom. We just
Nah.
want to be the best.
that needs to be the new norm across the whole entire industry, is where we don't want to be the cheapest, we want to be the best. And
Yes.
yeah,
We always say, if we get a customer that's like, has a crazy budget, we will recommend someone else.
yeah,
We'll just say, thank you for getting in touch with us. It's not, we're not going to be able to,
you know what? I've got a
for them.
theory about that, and I'd tell my team this as well. I'm like, just if they're not the right fit for us, figure out, like, send them to someone else, send them to a competitor. And they're like, oh, but we're just helping them out. I'm like, no, you're not. You're giving them the work, you're giving the competitors the work, which is more headache, less margin, and so they're going to take more time in dealing with that. So let them go and deal with that. But let's chat about, scaling your team. I've heard stories you're going from 5 to 50 or 5 to 60, and then you go from 60 to 120,
yes.
scaling up, scaling down. It's not uncommon for me to hear people go, oh, I can't find any staff. Staff are so hard to find. Then you hear people going, oh, I just can't get team members to do what I need them to do. And it's just so hard to get someone who's smart enough to do it. So how do you attract so many people so quickly? And then how do you get them on and train them and make them do their job well? Well, not make them, inspire them to do their job well.
It is not easy.
Okay.
I can't say it's easy because it's not.
But you do it.
We have a thing where we're always hiring. So we never, ever, ever stop hiring.
So
and we always try to keep the best.
Right, so you've got a recruit, I would like to call it recruitment funnel. So you would spend just as much time on recruiting people as what you do is acquiring clients.
Yeah, we go through it quite a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have an email address now that's just solely
Just work for us.
just for work for us. Yeah.
Yeah,
Which is
well-
careers at darwincatering.com.au.
Yeah.
Even on Facebook groups or see whatever, I'll just post just to keep getting inquiries in.
Mm-hmm.
Getting a lot of people for catering. We do have like a list of names that we have that will call in just for catering, but they also work for other catering companies. And this time of year, it's easier because we get a lot of backpackers wanting to do their 88 days.
Yeah.
So it's a lot easier to hire.
So it's remote up here.
It is remote up here, yeah.
Yeah.
So they're trying to do their 88 days, so we can just hire in mass. And a lot of backpackers we get are great from the get-go.
Yeah.
And very rarely do we have to do a lot of training.
Yeah,
You
because
know.
they've already worked in bars, cafes,
Correct.
somewhere
Correct.
around the world somewhere. Yeah.
So we'll get a lot of people, especially on big events. Like we did the AHANT, the hospitality event for 520 people just a month ago. And half the team, I'd never worked with them before.
Yeah, wow.
But they were fantastic.
Okay.
Right? We just gave them a 20-minute brief, like with what the menu is, who all the important people are, just things like that. Just a little brief, and that was pretty much what they got. Exactly what they need, no more than what,
Yeah.
not more. And just gave them a little walkthrough, and that was it. and that's all they needed.
And you gave everyone a specific job to do.
Correct.
Everyone had a job and
They
a
have
role.
a task,
And
yeah.
they're clear.
So they have a
clear on
role. This is what you're doing. This is what you're doing. This is what you're doing. And we try not to move people around too much because then it confuses.
What do you think the key is to inspiring such a big group of people to do what they need to do? Because you and I both know we can get someone and we can tell them what to do.
Yes.
But there's a certain type of leader who can scale teams like that and then also run them effectively.
Yes, just have the same goal, right? We're all there to do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is what we're here to achieve, and then try and get your team to follow that, I guess.
Yeah.
You know.
Now tell me, what does your management structure look like?
At the moment, we've got a GM that runs our catering, cafe, and cafeteria. We normally have a catering manager, so that's someone that we're looking for.
Okay.
We have a head chef at the university as well, and then down at the ski club again, we have another management team.
Right. So you've got a management team sitting over pretty much each department.
Correct.
Okay. And what's your expectations on the team? Like,
Um,
do they look at the numbers? Do they do all the reporting? Do they
The
come
GM,
to you?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we definitely go through numbers with that GM.
Okay.
Because I think they need to know, right? Because they have KPIs they've got to work on anyway.
Yep.
You know, and our GM's been with us for a really long time, but it's the first time she's ever taken on a role like that. So she's worked with us on and off for many years,
Okay.
and she's fantastic.
So you've trained her up through the ranks.
Correct, yeah, and she's great. And look, we've given her that role in February because we've done a big shift. And again, this is part of the growth where we're really trying to get, how do we grow our management team? Because I think one person trying to run a lot of people is a little bit difficult.
No.
But if you have a little bit more managers with smaller teams,
Yes.
that's what we're trying to get to.
Well, the usual rule is 7, right?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
So when you say KPIs, what numbers are you looking at and how often?
I should be doing it weekly. I can't say I do every single week,
Why
but
not?
we try to do it every single week.
Okay, so you try to look at numbers every week.
Yeah.
And what numbers do you look at? Rev?
So, yeah, revenue,
Yes.
cost of goods,
Yep.
wages,
Yep.
and a big thing for us, because we've noticed our fixed costs are really high. Because last year, that was our biggest thing, was our
No
fixed costs.
way. Was
Yeah.
it really?
Yeah, which was surprising to us as well. And it's not something I normally look at. It's not a metric I normally always stare at, because I'm always so concerned about wages, cost of goods,
Yeah.
revenue. That's what I always look at.
Yeah, because usually fixed costs just sit there
Correct.
because they're fixed.
But it was really high.
I reckon that's why they call them fixed costs.
Yeah, that's right. So for the last 3 or 4 months,
Yeah, that's what you've been doing.
yeah, nearly halved it now. But it was
Hang
just,
on.
It was just
whoa,
simple
whoa,
things.
whoa. You nearly halved your
Yeah,
fixed
but it was
costs.
just simple things that we just weren't looking at, right? Like, what's your cost of your gas, cost of your electricity, cost of,
Yeah.
like, even down to our admin team and our bookkeeping team. And you know what I mean? Like, how do we consolidate everything? And I had 3 companies looking after my books for no reason. You know, just things like that, right?
3 companies.
Yeah, at the time. So I had an accountant before moving to FC. That was their job, to fix my books.
Yeah, okay.
Because our books were like super messy
Yes.
at the time. And so they spent 2 years fixing it. And on top of that, we had them plus,
A new firm to do the new stuff.
yeah, and then I had 2 other people also trying to fix all my books. So we were spending tons of money just getting our books fixed and just trying to get us back. And then when we moved to FC, I was like, well, the accountants changed, but the other 2 people we don't need anymore, right? So
Yeah.
just little things like that where we just kind of weren't even thinking about it.
Yeah. Did you move to FC Accounting Co? Is that what you're saying? Did you move to the FC Accounting firm? Yeah.
Mhm.
How have you found that transition?
It's been good.
Yeah.
Honestly, probably the best accountants I've worked with.
Really?
Yeah, 100%.
Why do you think
Communication.
communication?
Yeah.
Do you think it's because it's followed the same aspect of the coaching where everything's quite structured and
Yes.
we try and
Yeah, that's right.
communicate and this is how it's going to look and why?
Like, I've never done a tax plan before.
Yeah. You know,
This was my first time.
know,
ever.
I sat through one of Timmy's tax plannings, just so everyone knows, Foodie Coaches has another branch which is called FC Accounting Co, which is run by my 2 business partners, Tim and Kylie, who been with Tim now. We've worked together for 11 years and Kylie has been in and out for probably 7, 8, 9. So we've been together for a long time, but we've been running this accounting firm. I sat in on a tax planning meeting with Kristen and Timmy the other week, and I was blown away with what was covered. I was like, holy shit. It was the most in-depth, intense, well-explained tax planning meeting that I've ever seen.
We've done everything from even restructuring out the entire company.
Yeah.
The way that we do it, have trust
Wow.
and all that. We never had that. In 13 years, I never had an accountant tell me that, hey, your company structure is not the best way. if there's no communication,
Yeah.
if you're only meeting them once a quarter or once every 6 months, and that's the only time you ever speak to them and just there to sign a paper, it's probably not the right accountant for you. Everything to do with finance should go through your accountant,
Yeah.
really.
So do you run big decisions through your accountant?
Yeah, if I
Really?
do.
What would you have to say for someone who is seriously thinking about going into this industry? Restaurant industry, catering industry, cafe. They might be a chef now and they're like, yeah, my dream is to open my own restaurant. Or they might be a barista now and like, yeah, I'm going to open my own cafe. And what is your advice for the people
Firstly,
with
it's
dreams?
not as easy as it sounds, right? It's not like you're going to open a restaurant and then you're going to be a millionaire the next day. So that's usually what most people think. I'm going to open my own restaurant, I open my own cafe, I'm going to start making millions, right? You got to work pretty hard at least for the first couple of years.
Yeah.
Get your systems in place, understand your numbers. That's a really, really big thing. Just remember, you're not the staff member now. You're not the barista anymore. You're not the chef anymore. You're the owner.
Yeah. And if you're going into a restaurant because you have a passion to cook food, just go and work for someone.
Yeah. If you're that passionate about cooking, 99% of the time, it's better just to look for a restaurant that
Can let you have some space and thrive.
Correct.
Because once you go in there, you're not going to be in the kitchen, man.
No, you're not going to be cooking.
No. And if you are cooking, the walls are going to be falling down around you with
Yes.
finances and everything else.
Yes.
If you could speak to the kid, the 25-year-old kid that opened his first restaurant, what would you say to him?
Step out of the bar.
Yeah.
Learn how to read your numbers.
Get out of the bar and know your numbers.
Yeah, know your numbers.
Oh.
You know? Yeah. That would be the biggest thing.
I'm a big believer that the restaurant industry, if every restaurant owner was forced to put a live feed of their bank account up on the wall inside their restaurant, restaurants would be run real differently.
Oh, 100%.
Because no one would have anywhere to hide with their ego.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And this is the problem with the industry. It's a lot of ego, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of ego in the restaurant industry.
Ramal, my man, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for taking the time out, coming to see us, and just sharing your knowledge and your story. It's been so great.
Thank you. Thanks for
Thanks,
coming
man.
to Darwin.
I love Darwin.
Yeah, it's amazing here.
So good.